been the honor of my life to serve as your president. But in the defense of democracy, which is at stake, I think is more important than any title. I draw strength.
Making his first appearance since pulling out of his campaign, President Joe Biden spoke to the nation from the Oval Office last night. He mentioned his love of country, the presidency, and the future, but did not give a reason for dropping out, simply saying it was best for the country.
The president's speech followed weeks of pressure from the Democratic Party after his performance at the presidential debate in June.
So he spoke for less than 15 minutes, but he hit on a number of topics.
That means I'll continue to lower costs for hardworking families, grow our economy. I'll keep defending our personal freedoms and our civil rights, from the right to vote to the right to choose.
Says he also wants to address gun violence, especially among children, the climate crisis, and Supreme Court reform. He has 6 months left in his presidency.
Vice President Kamala Harris returns to Capitol Hill today after making a pit stop in Indianapolis. She was there yesterday speaking at a sorority convention. It wasn't a campaign event, but it did start to sound like one. WHAS11's Isaiah Kim Martinez and senior photojournalist Alyssa Newton were there and have the details.
Within an hour of Air Force Two arriving in Indianapolis, Vice President Kamala Harris appearing before 6,000 sorors of Zeta Phi Beta, a historically black sorority. One of the big topics of her speech, abortion rights.
Well, let me tell you something. When I am president of the United States, and when Congress passes a law to restore those freedoms, I will sign it into law. We are not playing around.
It was just her second address on the road since getting President Biden's blessing to lead the Democratic ticket. And just 3 days since she made a string of calls to Democrats, including Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear. He talked to me one-on-one in Frankfurt on Monday.
She asked for my support. I agreed. And thus this morning I fully endorsed her and will do everything I can to help her win.
Beshear is on a short list of potential candidates Harris could pick to be her VP. ABC News reporting he's one of several contenders asked to send materials for vetting. But she is looking for a VP. Have you been keeping up?
I have.
What are your thoughts on some of the names thrown out there?
There's a lot of good names out there. I think they need to find somebody who matches her energy.
A Morning Consult poll just out Wednesday ranks Beshear as the second most popular governor in the country. But do voters from other states, like Hector Lewis of Jackson, Mississippi, know of him? Do you know the name Andy Beshear?
I do.
Any thoughts about Andy Beshear as a whole?
He's on the list for a reason.
Would you support him?
I'll support whoever the VP candidate is, because we're supporting the ticket.
I posed the same question to Tyrion Robertson from Atlanta. When I say the name Andy Beshear, do you know that name?
No. So you say he's the gentleman from Kentucky. I'll ask my son about that.
What would you like to see in a running mate for Kamala Harris? What kind of person?
One who's going to save the world.
Isaiah Kim Martinez, WHAS 11 on your side.
And as Isaiah mentioned, we've already heard from Governor Beshear this week about the speculation that he could be a VP pick. And today we'll hear from him in Frankfurt for his regular Team Kentucky update. We'll make sure to keep you posted on that on air and online at WHAS11.com.
Meanwhile, former President Donald Trump is shifting his focus to attacking Harris. In a flurry of social media posts, Trump suggested he is frustrated with Democratic presidential candidate Harris and the changeup that's happened. He unleashed some of those frustrations yesterday at a rally in Charlotte.
November, the American people are going to tell her, no thanks, Kamala. You've done a terrible job. You've been terrible at everything you've done. You're ultra-liberal, and we don't want you here. We don't want you anywhere. Kamala, you're fired. Get out of here. You're fired.
Trump's campaign is also attacking Kamala Harris's campaign finances. It filed a complaint with the Federal Election Commission claiming the transfer of funds from the Biden re-election campaign to the Harris presidential campaign is a violation of campaign finance rules, although those funds raised had been authorized for both President Biden and Vice President Harris. As we've talked about now for days, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear is on the short list to be Kamala Harris's potential VP pick. Beshear is headed to Des Moines, Iowa to headline a Democratic Party event Our Isaiah Kim Martinez, that you see there, will be there at that event, taking a closer look at how the governor resonates on a national stage. Coverage begins Friday right here on WHAS 11.
Today, Metro Council could vote on an ordinance to finance the redevelopment of the Urban Government Center. The ordinance would create a TIF, or Tax Increment Financing District, in Louisville's Paristown neighborhood. The city would then pledge a portion of the increased property taxes from the project to redevelop the site. The development proposal includes more than 400 apartments, commercial and office buildings, a hotel, and public green space. The council is expected to vote on the ordinance at tonight's meeting at 6 o'clock.
6:07 now, and Jefferson County clerk offices are closed again today due to a ransomware attack on its computers. This closure is impacting a lot of you as individuals, but it's also hitting car dealerships pretty hard as well. Tammy Coates, who's the owner of Greg Coates Cars and Trucks, says her dealership has a pileup of registrations and titles that they need to process. It was already dealing with a backlog of paperwork because of that update to Kentucky's automated vehicle information system. It was implemented back in January statewide at clerk's offices. That backlog has been compounded by the ransomware attack.
Well, every day you don't get work. You don't get work returned that you have down at the clerk's office waiting to be transferred, waiting to be processed.
Jefferson County Clerk Bobby Holzclaw told us she doesn't know when those offices will reopen, but while it's less convenient, we do need you to know that Jefferson County residents can start going to clerk offices in surrounding counties.